So for tonight's practice, we're continuing kind of our exploration of the kind of Buddhist concept of mudita. And mudita is a word that comes from both Pali and Sanskrit, which were the languages um, in the regions in which kind of Buddhism first took its roots. So like India and Nepal, thousands of years ago. And mudita doesn't have a perfect translation in English, but what it's often translated as is sympathetic joy, or finding joy and delight in the happiness of others. But kind of, I like to interpret it a little bit more broadly as simply joy, a sense of joy, gladness, or contentment. So being able to connect with those qualities. And mudita, kind of as I've shared in previous weeks, is considered in Buddhism, one of the four Brahma Viharas, or the divine abodes, which is very appealing to me, but also, at least from my own cultural background, can feel a little bit hard to connect with, or can feel maybe a little out of reach in my own sort of humble position as a human being on earth at this time in the world. So I like to think about sort of the four Brahma Viharas as kind of the four beneficial mind states. So loving kindness, compassion, mudita or joy, and equanimity. And so for tonight's practice, we're going to be kind of working with appreciating both the good qualities in others as well as the good qualities in ourselves. And I know we're a small group, but I'm curious by show of hands if anyone here has ever found it difficult or uncomfortable to accept a compliment. Yeah. I had two hands. If I had four hands, I would put them up in a foot. Yeah. And why do you think that is? Like, why does it often feel so hard to accept appreciation or praise from another for our own good qualities? Well, for tonight's practice, one of the things we're going to be working with is really how we can integrate the three components of compassion into being able to access and appreciate the qualities that already exist in ourselves that are good, that are supportive, and that are beneficial both to ourselves and to other people. And these three qualities are mindfulness. So this, just being aware of, the qualities that we can appreciate in ourselves and the way that they can be that they are of support to ourselves and others. Kindness, which is being able to and practicing expressing appreciation for ourselves. Like I know for myself, it feels so natural to say thank you to other people or to acknowledge like, wow, that thing you did for me really made a difference in my life, even for small things or seemingly insignificant things. And so really practicing offering that same kindness to ourselves. And then the third, and has been the most transformative for me, which is this component of common humanity. So recognizing that just as all humans have good qualities and not as helpful qualities, like we too have those things. And so being able to recognize both that we're works in progress and that we have some qualities that are mighty fine, so I like this quote of, I may not be perfect, but parts of me are excellent. And so being able to lean into that, those parts of ourselves that are already excellent. And I think, for those of us living with diabetes, the kind of frame of mind with which we're taught to kind of relate to our condition is often through the mindset of like refining, fixing, or improving, making better. Like I had an appointment with my first appointment with my new endocrinologist a month or two ago. And she was like, your A1C is great. Like time in range looks great. I just want to see if we can get this line a little bit more flat throughout the day. And so that's so much the focus often is like, okay, what can we do to just make it like 1 degree better? And in some ways that can, especially when that carries over into our day-to-day lives, that frame of mind can become a subtle aggression towards ourselves and can also blind us from the parts of ourselves, the parts of our lives that are already working well, that are already supportive of us, that are innately good. And so that's what we're going to be practicing with a bit tonight. So as we kind of get settled in for the practice, I really invite you to just take a moment to check in with yourself and really ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need for tonight's practice? Maybe it's dimming the light a little bit or grabbing an extra pillow for underneath your head. Maybe it's turning your video off or on. Maybe it's taking just one big stretch. No. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to gently close your eyes, or you can soften your gaze and look away from the screen, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And just taking a moment to arrive here. Perhaps feeling into the places in which the body is in contact with the earth or the ground or chair underneath you. Perhaps feeling into the quality of support being offered to you by the earth. Imagining that with each breath, you can allow your body to settle in just a little bit more into the support of the earth. And trusting that it's got you, it's holding you. That you're safe to relax in this moment. Knowing that at any point during this evening's short practice, you can always come back here. And feeling into this felt sensation of being supported, being held, cared for by this connection with the earth. This connection which has been with you throughout your entire life, whether you noticed it, acknowledged it or not. It's always there. As you settle into a place of physical stability, perhaps beginning to notice the sensation of your breath, sensation of your body breathing. Perhaps noticing the place in the body in which you can feel the breath most easily. Perhaps it's the tip of the nose or the gentle rise and fall of the belly or the chest. And just taking a moment to be with this experience of breathing. Allowing your breath to flow naturally, each inhale and each exhale. Allowing the breath to be just as it is in this moment. No need to fix or change this breath in any way. Simply allowing the breath to be just as it is. And allowing yourself to be just as you are in this moment. And if the mind begins to wander or get called away from the breath by a thought or sensation or something in the room around you, and seeing if you can simply bring your attention back to your breath with a sense of kindness, sense of understanding, perhaps even a smile, knowing that this is just what the mind does. There's nothing wrong with it. You can always come back. This coming back to our innate centeredness, our innate stability, our innate goodness is the practice itself. And if you like, perhaps calling to mind someone you love, someone for whom it's easy to feel a sense of warmth, connection, and care for. This could be a dear friend or family member, a beloved pet, or it could be someone that you don't know personally, but for whom you feel a deep sense of love, connection, and care for. Bringing a clear image of this dear loved one to your mind. If you like, perhaps imagining that they're even sitting before you. Noticing what it feels like to imagine yourself in the presence of this really dear, cherished loved one. And as you hold this loved one's image in your mind, perhaps calling to mind one or two qualities of this loved one that have been especially meaningful for you or that have impacted you in a really beneficial way. And this could be particular traits or the demeanor of this loved one, or simply any interactions you've had with them that have been particularly meaningful for you. Taking a moment to savor this cherished quality of the loved one, your loved one. Perhaps even imagining that with each inhale, you can breathe a little bit of this cherished quality into your own heart. Perhaps on your exhale, you can extend your appreciation or your gratitude to this loved one for the ways that they've supported your life. Breathing in the goodness that this loved one and their beautiful qualities have enriched your life, and breathing out your appreciation, your gratitude for this loved one. And now perhaps calling to mind the image of a stranger, someone who is in your life, who you may see throughout your day, but whom you don't know personally. This could be a person that you pass in traffic, the person that you watch on TV, the cashier at the grocery store, the mailman. Bringing the image of this person to your mind's eye. If you like, perhaps imagining that they're sitting before you. And if you can, perhaps noticing one or two qualities of this stranger or neutral person that have been meaningful to your life. Or perhaps one or two ways that this person has helped to enrich your life and your well-being, however small or large. And again, imagining that as you inhale, you can breathe in the goodness of this stranger. Breathe in the appreciation for the ways in which this individual has been of support in your own life, even though you don't know them and they don't know you personally. And on your exhale, imagining that you can extend your appreciation and gratitude to this stranger directly from your own heart center. Imagining that as you extend your appreciation to this stranger, that it uplifts them in some way, brings them a smile or a sense of contentment. Breathing in, savoring the ways this stranger has impacted your own life for the better. And on your exhale, extending your gratitude to this stranger. Extending your appreciation for the good qualities that they offer in the world and to your own life. Perhaps now calling to mind yourself. Taking a moment to note 3, maybe 4 qualities you have that have been meaningful to yourself or to others. The first few that come up may be somewhat superficial. So see if you can open to what really deep down you appreciate about yourself. You won't have to share these with anyone else, so please don't be modest. And if you notice yourself experiencing any uneasiness as you call to mind these qualities, these good qualities in yourself, and just allowing space for whatever you're feeling. Letting yourself be just as you are, and letting this experience be exactly how it is. It doesn't need to be any different. Remembering that You aren't saying that you always show these good qualities or that you're better than others, but you're simply acknowledging that this too is true. Now, perhaps focusing in on just one quality in particular that you appreciate about yourself. If you like, giving it a name. Maybe it's resilience, compassion, patience, curiosity. Perhaps noticing how this particular quality may show up even in your life with diabetes, and to be of support to you. And consider if there are any people who helped you develop this quality, maybe friends or family members, teachers, or even authors of books or public figures or speakers that had a positive impact on your life. And as you bring to mind each positive influence, perhaps extending your appreciation to them as well. Recognizing that when we honor ourselves and our own good qualities, we also are honoring those who have helped to nurture us. If you like, perhaps even imagining that as you breathe in, you're breathing in the goodness of this quality and the many ways that it's benefited both you and others. Breathing the goodness of that quality into your own heart, allowing your heart to expand as it receives its goodness, your goodness. And on your exhale, extending your appreciation and gratitude to all those who helped to cultivate and nurture this quality in you. To all of those people or conditions that made it possible for this beautiful quality to arise in your own heart and in your own life. As we begin to bring this practice to a close, and just allowing yourself to savor just for a few more moments this connection to yourself and to the goodness that already exists in you. Allowing yourself just to soak in it for a moment longer. Recognizing that just like your loved one, Just like the stranger who plays an important role in your life, you also possess these good qualities, these qualities that are a benefit to yourself and to others, and that don't need to be changed, don't need to be improved, but are beautiful just as they are. And in your own time, whenever you are ready, I invite you to bring your attention back gently into the sensation of the connection between your body and the earth or the chair underneath you. Connecting once again with the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Allowing the sounds of the room around you to come into your ears, and whenever you're ready, allowing the light to stream softly back into your eyes as you come back into the room.